Plank, the head coach for Philadelphia, coming into this game 0 for 4 in Arena Bowls, and it's now going to be 0 for 5. I'm sure this one is going to sting for quite a while.
I want to tell you thanks for a great season. I mean, this is the most fun that I've had coaching in my life, and it was because of each and every one of you. I know everybody's disappointed. I don't even know what words to use right now.
At age 59, Doug Plank is still looking for his first football championship on any level. He played 8 seasons with the Bears and never won a playoff game. But to the top defensive minds in the sport, Plank's place in football history will always be one of the most celebrated.
Oh, please, Doug Plank, well, obviously he is a ferocious hitter. The thing that I remember most about Doug Plank is he never left anybody standing. You could have the ball or not. He was going to come over that pile. He was going to hit somebody.
Well, Doug did this, so that was in practice, and I was his teammate. He would play the game very hard, and he was all about hitting you as hard as he could.
There was no doubt in my mind when you played against the Bears, the heart and soul was Doug Plank. Doug Plank hit me on a scramble. It was game over for me. Look out, man. You better come
I know. You're right. It's a lot of pressure.
This year, Ron Jaworski teamed up with Plank, first in the Arena League, and then to discuss how Plank's style of play would be viewed in today's NFL.
It probably wasn't the best there. I think this is probably a penalty today, too.
Oh, now you're not getting away with this one. Uh-oh. Oh!
Hey, it was a different era. What can I say? It was pre-global warming and all that kind of stuff.
Since Franco was heading back to the huddle, it's probably a little bit late.
Look, no penalty flag.
Some of us would pay the price because I had guys chasing me off the field after extra points thinking I was Doug Plank.
At Ohio State, Plank was far from sought after. He started only 5 games and played primarily special teams. His standout performance came at Northwestern, just north of Chicago.
I didn't realize that at the time, 2 Chicago Bears scouts came to that game.
Chicago then drafted Plank in the 12th round to cover punts and kickoffs.
And then the free safety gets injured in one of the preseason games. They asked me, Doug, have you ever played free safety? Of course I've played free safety. I've done it all my life. I had never played free safety before. By the time the preseason was done, I was the starting free safety for the Chicago Bears.
Plank led the Bears in tackles and was near the top in interceptions. But his unique place in NFL history happened after the arrival of defensive coordinator Buddy Ryan.
Buddy came to Chicago, and he looked at what we had.
This is what I want to do. Well, wait a minute, I want to get something straight, baby.
And we were not really a very good football team. And he said, what can I do to manufacture, to create pressure on the quarterback? And on the board, he had this scheme. I have to tell you, I don't think one person in the room thought that this thing would even work. I think it was Otis Wilson, our linebacker. He said, Buddy, what are you going to call this? He circled my number 3 times. He said, we're going to call this the 46th defense.
It's named after Doug Plank just because he, had that jersey number. They just put it in because they brought Doug down basically playing a linebacker position, and that's why he called it the 46.
Now, no one jumped up, came over, started slapping me on the back saying, Doug, this is fantastic. This thing is going to take the Bears to the Super Bowl.
I mean, we didn't really give it much thought. He had a lot of coverages and a lot of things named after a number of different players on the defense.
One of the jobs that I had done in the offseason, I was a Culligan water softener repairman. And guess what? Their water softener was not working well. Basically, within a few minutes, it was up and running, and he was so happy. So I always laugh. Maybe that was the difference between having it called the 46 defense or the 24 defense, because Jeff was right next to me just a few feet away.
Ryan unleashed the 46 defense midway through the 1981 season against the highest scoring team in the league, the San Diego Chargers.
It had to be one of the biggest upsets that year in the National Football League. Statistically, I know that was one of Dan Fouts' worst days.
The Hall of Fame quarterback was 13 for 43 with 2 interceptions, and the Bears won. But it wasn't until 1985 that the 46 defense received national recognition.
You have a basic defense here you call a 46. What is that, Coach? What do you try to do with it?
You know, offensive coaches, they like to think they're good. They run people over the field and put them in motion and do all this, and they want you to stand over and let them do what they want to. They don't like it when you don't.
The 1985 Bears allowed just over 12 points per game, shut out their first 2 playoff opponents, and crushed the Patriots in Super Bowl 20, a game where the Bears scored exactly 46 points.
It's hard to argue that 85 defense wasn't the greatest defense of all time.
The 46 defense was immortalized, but number 46 was long gone. He had retired following the 1982 season, and by 1985 was spending most of his time managing his fast food business.
I did not get a chance to even watch every one of those playoff games because some of those days I was actually working at the restaurant.
Plank did follow the travels of Buddy Ryan, and in 1994, Plank found himself literally at a crossroads.
I was driving to a Burger King restaurant that I own in Tempe, Arizona, and I hear on the radio, Buddy Ryan's the new head coach, general manager of the Arizona Cardinals. And I'm thinking, do I want to get on there and congratulate Buddy, or should I go back and help in the drive-thru? Nobody else named the defense after my jersey number. I said, you know what? I at least owe him the respect to go down there and congratulate him. That's what I did. 5 minutes later, I was offered an announcing position for the Arizona Cardinals, and I started realizing how much I loved this game of football.
Plank was an assistant with the Jets when Rex Ryan first became head coach.
Why didn't you get deep? You weren't deep?
No, I'm pushing them in. We're going to try to be down low. Trying to run them.
I see.
And he's coached 8 seasons in arena football.
It's ridiculous. This is what really struck me once I became a coach. I don't remember ever crying in my life. Let's go, B-Rob. Let's go. Let's go, Sam. But working with people and then having it culminate in a football game that you actually win. Yeah! Yeah! Woo! Yeah! B-Rob, man, go! I mean, literally tears many times roll down your face. Way to go, Perk, man. Awesome work. Way to go, Joe. I don't know of any other business that you get that same sort of a reaction from.
In the NFL, Doug Plank's number, name, and the defense he helped create live on.
Hey, I'm thinking about playing 46 with 0. Let those safeties play down.
Perk, pleasure to have you on here, board.
In arena football, Plank will coach at age 60 in Orlando to tackle the one goal that has eluded him.
I've got a message to tell football players this day. Shock your system. Take it to the limit. Don't give us 50% effort or 75% effort. Give us 100%. When I came in here, undersized, not fast enough, not big enough, Doug Plank survived in the National Football League because he brought his A game every day.
The impact Plank made as a player is undeniable.
This is what we call 46-5 blitz.
But of all the things he's received credit for, should this hit on Ron Jaworski be one of them?
Is that Doug?
That might have been Gary.
It's Spencer. Yeah.
See, I'm innocent once again.
Coach, I apologize.
I am not guilty of the crime.
I apologize.
I feel so much better now. See,
I can tell you're beaming. You're upset it wasn't you.